Hey, Kirkwood Baptist Church. It's me again, trying to give you a little more information from last week's video and a couple of other updates. As you know, on October 25th, we're going to do an outdoor worship service at 2 o'clock. We've had a couple of questions about that, so let me clarify some things. You need to bring your chair, your Bible, wear a mask. You're going to need to socially distance from other people, and you will be able to sing in the worship service and that sort of thing. Somebody asked if we would live stream the 2 o'clock service. And the simple answer to that is no, and I'll give you a little more explanation. Live streaming a service, the way that we have been doing it and setting things up, is a lot more complicated than simply taking a camera and shooting the service. We have microphones set up, we have a soundboard mixing things, we have all sorts of instrumentalists and vocalists and things like that happening, and it all has to be done in a pretty detailed way. So, what we're trying to do by offering this outdoor worship service is to offer an opportunity for worship for people who are not connecting to the online worship services and give them a chance to gather closer, not virtually, but physically closer to each other. So, we're going to do it out on the main parking lot, and so we would encourage you to park across the street. If you're a person who has mobility issues, or maybe you can't get out of your car, I know a couple of people I've seen come to the lawn concert series, and they'll sit in their cars on the side of the road or park in one of the handicap spots, and you can do that and you can worship with us from your car. Also, I and every one of the staff here at Kirkwood Baptist understand that not everyone is comfortable gathering even outside with masks. And so, if you can't be there on Sunday at 2 o'clock, or you just prefer not to, we do not take it in any way as a reflection on how you feel about the church. Also, I mentioned that we are looking at different ways of gathering on the campus. And so we're doing that. This Sunday, our youth are going to gather in the main parking lot, and they're going to do Sunday school together. Coincidentally, the Hastings Sunday School class, I believe, is going to meet in the prayer garden because a lot of their students are or a lot of their children are youth. And they're going to meet and have Sunday school. And so the campus is open for those kinds of things. On the 18th, we're going to try out something a little bit different with the Maxwell Bean class. They called and saw that the youth were meeting and said, "Hey, could we meet on campus?" And I said, "Of course, you can meet anywhere on the campus. We got to be careful with the building." But they asked a really good question. What do we do in Missouri if we wake up on the 25th and it's 10 degrees outside, which is in the realm of possibility? They don't want to be outside bundled up, and so we came up with a workaround. We're going to utilize the Great Hall if that happens. We can spread people out, do different things like that. During this time, we're all having to get really creative about how we stay connected to one another. And so, yeah, Sunday schools can meet, say, in the Great Hall, but one of the things that we have to remember is we only have one of those. And so if Sunday schools want to use that, we have to space them out. And it means that everybody can't meet on what we would normally have for our Sunday school hour. So maybe now is a time for Sunday schools to get creative and to think of things that they haven't done before. Maybe they meet in somebody's yard. Maybe they meet here at the church. We want to encourage this type of creativeness, and we're willing to work with you on coming up with a plan. That leads me to a third item because of this reality of what we're having to live into. Many of you know that worship planning for us is not something that we simply do on Sunday morning, throwing together worship services. In fact, we look pretty far ahead, and a majority of the worship planning falls on the shoulders of Kyle. We all play a role and do different things and add pieces to worship. But because worship planning takes so much advanced planning, we have come to a conclusion and a reality as a staff that we are planning all of our services right now for the online format. So I don't want you to miss what I just said. All of the services that we are currently planning between now and December, we are planning for the online format because it requires so much planning. Take, for example, the Advent service that's usually led by the choir. Right now, Kyle is putting together an Advent service for that time that will incorporate different singers and instrumentalists. He is even having to plan contingencies in case the county creates regulations and we have to go backwards instead of forwards on reopening so that he can scale things as needed. One of the reasons we've been able to incorporate other people in worship, people from outside the church even, is because of the work that we've done to mitigate risk. But it also means that these people are coming into contact with different things, and we have to be careful about how many people we allow into the building and do those types of things. We also are in the position where we can pivot quickly. If suddenly we wake up one morning and everything is over and we can go back to in-person and all is changed, then we will do that. But currently what we're having to do is to look at this online work. And so we would encourage you, I know it can be difficult to engage it, but take the time to try and engage that work. And if you're having trouble with it, reach out to one of us. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. Finally, I don't know how many people have actually engaged this letter writing campaign that I encouraged last week. I would encourage you. I still think there's some validity to it, and I know a couple of Sunday school teachers who have definitely reached out to some of our rising sixth graders. This week, I'm asking for your help. One of the things that we want to do for the season of Advent is to create a devotional. And that devotional is meant to be not just something that will encourage us in a time of Advent, but also something that when we look backwards upon this time in the life of our church, it can be a book of remembrances. So, in the Kindler, you've got the write-up. You've got the inspiration for it. What we need from you are submissions. Several of you have already sent in different things, pictures to reflect on, devotionals, that kind of thing. But we need more of them. And I would encourage you, this is a great time to try something. Listen, if it's terrible, we won't publish it. But most of the time what happens is you become surprised at what's inside you and the things that come out as you begin the creative process of writing. I would encourage you to do that. Get them in by the 15th so that we can do the planning and the preparation that's needed in order to create this devotional book. I appreciate your time today, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact any of the staff here. Talk to you later. Bye.